Hello guys, today I'm gonna show you something incredible that I've just learned. I've seen a post on Dreamlight Leaks subreddit, which I'm gonna link in the description, that went deep into the Scrooge Store. Literally, this post comes with like a giant Word document that answers all the questions you can possibly have about Scrooge Store. Other furniture pouch exclusives. How do items actually generate? Are some items more rare than the other items? Literally, if you have a question about Scrooge Store, you're gonna find an answer in this video and in this Reddit post. Huge shout out to Ramirez, Frizz, and Proper Fish for putting this guide together. Trust me, there is a lot of information. There is a lot of science, a lot of numbers, a lot of spreadsheets, just what you guys love. And we're gonna learn everything there is to know about Scrooge Store. Let's dive straight into it. Now, this post caught my attention. Scrooge's shop mechanic explanation. Now, this is, I'm sure so many people want to know how exactly does Scrooge's Store actually work. Scrooge has been a subject of speculation and anger since the game started. It seems for most people to be broken. After the excessive amount of digging with the help of 2 users that you can see the names on the screen, we've solved 90% of the Scrooge and have answers to most of the big mysteries. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. All right, let's read all of this. Every display has set dimensions, which are used to determine what items can appear. Items may be smaller than the slot they're filling. Each display has set odds of getting specific layouts. The older slots are filled... Oh, the order slots are filled is random. 30% chance... So, quad. 30% chance of 2 items. 1 4x4, 1 2x2. 70% chance of 4 items. All 3x3. Okay. I'm pretty sure the shower that appears downstairs is not 4x4. It's way bigger than that. So how does that one get explained? Also, I wonder why... Oh, okay, makes sense. I guess shower is considered 4x4 somehow. Let me actually make this smaller so you can see something. Upstairs, left and right, connected to one another. Each display has 70% chance of 2 items, both 4x8, and 30% chance of 1 item, 8x8. So these are where the big items go, and yet the showers somehow still appear on the first floor. But maybe they changed it in the next update, in the current update. Maybe the shower no longer appears on the first floor. Upstairs, middle, 70% chance of 2 items, both 8x16. So these are the huge ones. 8x16 is really big, so I think the items that are super big can still appear there, and there is no reason for them to be furniture bag exclusive. 30% chance of 1 item. 16x16, like giant carpets. Makes sense. Each display slot has a range of item prices that will appear, and the slots are sorted from cheapest to most expensive. Effectively, you'll get a range of the cheap to expensive items in most displays. There are multiple items that can only be obtained from furniture pouches because there is no display that allows their dimensions. That makes so much sense. For example, Lifeguard Tower is 3x5. This is too large for the 4x4 quad slot and too small for the 4x8 upstairs slot. If the quad displayed a single item at a time, it would appear there. My god, so that is why there is furniture exclusive items. Because they have odd sizes that do not fit a single display. So it's not... Okay, this just blew my mind. So furniture exclusive items are not pouch exclusives. Both pouches and Scrooge Store shared exactly the same inventory. The only difference is Scrooge Store is physically unable to accommodate certain items. So some items just will never show up in the Scrooge Store, not because they're exclusive, but because they just, like, due to the way it's coded, those items do not properly fit. Like, the game doesn't know how to place them in any of the available spaces in the game. It's fascinating. So the furniture pouch doesn't have any restrictions. So you literally can get absolutely any furniture item from furniture pouch. So by this logic, there might not be rare items and less rare items. There is just chances and sizes. For example, if you have noticed, most of the rare items are actually big items. And that's mostly because the spaces they can accommodate them have very low chance of spawning that size of the item. And I'm sure there is also certain logic, like certain items have to have higher and lower rarity as well. So the one thing that developers can do to actually remove and absolutely fix furniture pouch exclusives and make them all appear in Scrooge Store is to allow items that are unconventional size to appear in spaces that are larger than them, and to just center it inside or put it in the corner or something. But the fact that it doesn't match exactly, even for example, Lifeguard Tower is 3x5. It's too large for 4x4 quad slot. Again, showers have no problem appearing in that spot, even though shower is way bigger than the Lifeguard Tower. So I don't understand that part. How does the shower appear in the first floor? Why is shower not too big for the first spot, but the Lifeguard Tower is? I mean, Lifeguard Tower is tall, but I don't think game cares about the tallness. It only cares about the footprint. This doesn't explain it at all. The game does not appear to have any sort of pity system. Bonus to items not in your catalog. That makes sense. The game does not appear to have seasonal items, personal luck, etc. The shop does have a weighting system that makes the chances of having the same item in the shop less likely for the week following its appearance in the shop. This is what was tweaked in the new update. Rather than lasting for 1 week, it now lasts for 50 days. So if you see an item in the shop, it's almost impossible to get the item come back to the shop for the next 50 days. Wait, that makes no sense either. Because if you watched my previous stream, I got a blue blanket in the very beginning. And then I didn't get it. And then it appeared again in like a couple refreshes, maybe 50 refreshes. 50 refreshes! Wait, does every refresh count as a day? No, but then also... No. I think this is the way this works. So if you do a refresh, it doesn't lock in the items. And if it doesn't lock in the items, this means that it doesn't set this timer. So for example, if you bought an item in the shop, it will not appear again for 50 days. That doesn't help much though, does it? It literally is such a minimal change, so that's the only change. So it doesn't affect refreshes at all. You can literally get the same items over and over. Only buying an item and locking it in allows it not to appear for the 50 days. So it's pretty much for if you're refreshing Scrooge Shop, it's gonna make very minimal difference. However, if you're not refreshing and just buying whatever you see every day, this can actually help with getting less duplicates in the long run. So I guess it's a good change, but it's good to know exactly how it works. Some odds, ballparked from what we know. You have a 1/9, 11% chance of seeing a holographic bar stool, which appears on the shelf. 0.42% chance of seeing the tall potted plant. 0.23% chance of seeing the black Gothic rose window, which appears in the back of the squad. That sounds about right. That is a very, very rare item. 0.1% chance of seeing aquarium, which appears in the front of the squad. Building off of this Google Doc is the detailed breakdown of the mechanics surrounding Scrooge's store. In much greater detail. And I knew the doors weren't showing up. Never seen one there. Wow. That is amazing. Okay, let's take a look. This video now turned into Scrooge Store explained video, because this is important. About random number generation. When you begin the game for the first time, your account is assigned a number of seeds. A specific seed is used in combination with at least one other variable in order to generate reproducible streams of random numbers. For example, your burning state seed might be this, and your shop seed might be this. Okay. There are likely no predetermined lists of action, rewards, or upcoming luck-based events defined as those speculated during testing, but the experienced output can appear this way. So this is what I got. So the seed determines the order of the items. So it's not, there is no queue, there is no line, but it's the seed. And depending on the day or how, so if it's not predetermined, the seed still defines the next item every single time the same. So for example, if you have 2 chests or 2 furniture pouches, no matter which order you open them, you're gonna get the same items in the same order. So that means it gives an impression like there is a queue of items, but it's not a queue, it's just the seed that gives out the items in exactly the same order. That doesn't really change much though. A random chance is being calculated on each action, but given the same input values. The same set of random numbers will be generated, and consistently the same results will be produced. That's why refreshing furniture pouches or refreshing chests does not work in the game, so you cannot exploit it this way, unfortunately. I already tried. Using digging as an example, there's never an instance where the engine runs out of action number, hole count, reward combinations, and needs to regenerate the list. When new game version updates occur, the system doesn't need to add new furniture clothing to the possible item set available from pouches inside green reward chests, or change anything predetermined to ensure that the player gets a chance at the new content. All rewards are chosen at the time when each hole is dug. But since the random number generator will reproduce the same numbers when provided the same inputs, it appears to end user as though the rewards are predetermined. I knew it! I mean, I thought they were predetermined, but they're not. But they are, because the seed will always give the same numbers in the same order. So it is kind of predetermined. We just don't know what it is, and there's no way for us to access it. Only the seed knows, and seed doesn't even know. It just spits out the thing at you. Fascinating. All right, Scrooge Store. My God, this is the 13 pages. Okay, I'm going to read through this and I'm going to give you the highlights. When Scrooge's Store is generated, the items in Scrooge's Store are not determined until you enter it. So this is why if you haven't entered the Scrooge Store, but you got the game saved, you can still do a refresh and it's going to work unless you enter the store after the save. The odds of different numbers of items in each category display. Quad, 70%. Okay, we already read this. Which items can appear in each display? This is determined by price thresholds and the number of items on the display. Interesting. A maximum of 1 wallpaper or flooring will be offered for sale at a time on the quad. Pouch exclusives do exist. Certain items cannot appear in the shop as a result of the display dimensions available. They have to fix this. It's such an easy fix. Premium items, hard currency, were once going to be mixed in with regular store items, minimum 1 per day. Maximum 33% of the items. What? There were premium items at some point were going to be in a Scrooge store? What makes them premium then? Debunked. There are predetermined lists of items that can appear in each location. Instead, displays are filled by items that fit certain criteria, dimensions, and cost. Buying out Scrooge will give you more different items. No, it will not. Tested and confirmed. Some items are weighted higher than others. Half debunked. Items don't have increased weights, but items that have appeared recently have a reduced chance of appearing. This is what weighting refers to. So this is how this works. Suspected, unknown if every item has an equal chance of being selected, or is it some items are more likely than others to appear. I'm pretty sure this is true. Like, it has to be. However, based on everything that has been learned so far, it's believed that all items have an equal probability of being chosen, as counterintuitive as it may sound. Certain types of items are only offered in specific locations. For example, wallpaper, flooring, quad, wall and wall-mounted quad, ceiling, upstairs, middle. Doors appear to be missing since 1.3 update and do not appear in Scrooge shop currently. I was wondering, where did the doors go? Resetting store items. Display 0 and 1 window displays are generated before you enter, but all others are not generated until you enter the store. New store items are selected based on the combination of account-specific seed and the number of times that your valley has been loaded. This value is retained even if you reset the game, which is what allows you to reset Scrooge's shop. Oh. Below reset refers to not saving the game, exiting and restarting the game. Revert refers to overwriting the current game file with an old save file, thereby restoring to a previous version of the game. For example, say you have the game in its current state. Call it state A. Game loads. Village load counter is X. You open Scrooge Store. Donut chair is in a quad front. Reset the game. Game loads. Village load counter X+1. Open Scrooge Store. Now funky toilet is in the quad front. Reset the game. Game loads. Count +2. Open Scrooge. Now coat hanger is in front. Okay, now revert the game to state A. Game loads. Walk into this. Walk into your house. Walk back outside. Open Scrooge Store. Now funky toilet is in quad. Oh! So just going inside the building and exiting changes the Scrooge shop. But unfortunately, after you lock it in, you cannot change it. So you can't see what's in there. Like, you can change it, but you can't see what's in there. How is this helpful, though? But how can this be exploited in any way? I don't think so. I don't see how it can be exploited. Items that are in Scrooge's store are added to an array paired with a weight. The first day an item appears, that weight is 20, and each following day the weight increased by 10 until it reaches 100 and is removed from the list. If the shop generator generates that an item on this list will appear, the game generates between 1 and 100. If that is lower than the item's weight, the item is discarded and now a new one is generated. If it's higher, then the item is added to the shop and the weight is reset to 200. Example. Without this mechanic, it's possible that 3 days of shelf 2 could look like this. 11% chance of tea kettle on day 1, 1% chance of tea kettle 2 days in a row. Basically no chance of tea kettle 3 days in a row. With this mechanic, it's highly unlikely that 3 days of shelf 2 look like this. So basically, it's not just... I wonder... It's recently seen. So this should make it super unlikely seeing the same items in a row. But it still doesn't help if you're doing like hundreds of refreshes. Like, it's not very helpful. Again, it's only helpful for people who are not doing refreshes, which is good, which is most people probably. The first time the shop is entered in a given day, the following is believed to happen. Determine display item counts. The engine first decides the number of items in each display. Okay, probabilities we already know. Randomly selects item for each display. A random display slot is chosen to be filled with a new item with the following restrictions. The item must be within a set of range of dimensions. The items might be must not violate the price thresholds for the display, and the item must not be an excluded type. The random order matters for the quad. If it was not random and an order was predetermined, some items would have a severely reduced probability of appearing. For example, if items were always chosen in order from cheapest to more expensive, the chance of getting a higher priced wallpaper or flooring would be significantly worse. Makes sense. Depending on the number of items in each display, you will have different item price thresholds. So that is why some of the rare items don't appear that often, because only one slot in the entire thing can actually have the item because of the price. And same in the quad. If it's expensive item, only one position on the quad can have it, and it only happens in a certain certain configuration. So if you get 2 items, you cannot get... Oh no, you can. Wait, I don't get it. Okay, the chart showing where items of different dimensions can appear. So the maximum, the biggest size of the item in the game is 16 by 16. And you can see exactly which slot they can appear. So this is why there are certain items that do not appear in the shop, because they just do not fit. There's no slot that's configured to have their size on. And this is going to be the P. This is the section. This. So there's like slightly smallish items and very, very big items. That is fascinating. So I'm assuming that all the furniture items fall into this piece. So these are all the sizes of the furniture items that we can possibly have. And all they need to do to fix this is to just allow these S2 to display these P's and M2s to display these P's. You can see my mouse, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Wait, how are you not seeing my mouse? I don't know why it doesn't show my mouse, but anyway, this can be so easily fixed by developers. They just need to do it. My god, this turned out into such a long video, and we only talking about Scrooge Store, but it's a lot of science. So hopefully you guys enjoying it. I'm gonna link this whole post with the document in the description, because I'm skipping a lot of things because there's just not enough time in this video to cover all of it. We're just halfway there, and I already skipped half of it. So flooring and wallpaper are always assumed to be 2 by 2, and the ceiling items always assumed to be 8 by 16. So that makes sense why they appear on the top. So there's exceptions. For example, rocky terrain is 4 by 4 when placed, but it will appear in a 3 by 3 quad slot. Shower stalls are wall-mounted items. That is why wall-mounted items, as we know, are always assumed to be, I guess, 2 by 2. Shower stalls fixed in update 6. So now we're not going to see shower stalls on the first floor, I'm assuming. This is fascinating. Okay, I skipped a lot of stuff. You guys should definitely go check out this document. Other pouch exclusive items. There are several items that have dimensions. Okay, but notably, 45 of 61 pouch items will appear on the quad if it's set to only have a single item. So this is the fix. One simple fix that these guys managed to tweak inside the game files to make furniture pouch items, like most of them appear on the quad, is to just, like right now there is 30% chance for 2 items, 70% chance for 4 items. Make it like 60% for 4 items and 10% for 1 item. So the quad will have 10% chance to like spawn a furniture pouch item. That's gonna be so helpful. So helpful. Thank you so much for watching the video. I decided to cut this video in 2 parts. This is part 1, and it's gonna be just about the Scrooge Store. I feel like we've had 20 minutes plus of just pure science and numbers and facts about the Scrooge Store, and I feel like Scrooge deserves the entire video dedicated just to the Scrooge Store mechanics. So that's what we're doing in this video. Hope you learned something new. I definitely learned a lot of new stuff, and I'm looking forward to learning even more about the Scrooge and also getting more rare items. Of course, that is always something I'm looking forward to. Thank you so much for watching. Huge thanks to everybody on this list for supporting this channel. You guys are absolutely incredible. I'll see you in the next one, and take care.